All right, today we're diving into an absolute classic, Jules Verne's 1864 masterpiece, Journey to the Center of the Earth. This isn't just a story, it's one of the cornerstones of science fiction, a book that blends incredible scientific speculation with a truly grand adventure. So, let's get into it. So here's how we're going to chart this incredible course. We're going to start with the cryptic puzzle that kicks the whole thing off. Then we'll follow the team's dangerous descent, explore the mind-blowing world they find, witness their voyage across a lost sea, and cover their, well, let's call it an explosive escape. And finally, we'll talk about what this whole journey really means. You know, a story like this doesn't start with a map. It starts with a mystery. A secret, coded message found hidden in an ancient 12th century manuscript, promising a path to something everyone thought was impossible.
And the reaction to finding this message? It's literally night and day. On one hand, you have the brilliant but incredibly impatient Professor Otto Lidenbrock. He is absolutely ecstatic. He sees fame, discovery, history. On the other hand, there's his nephew, Axel, who is also our narrator, and he is just horrified. This clash, this push and pull between reckless ambition and cautious fear is what powers the entire story.
And here's the best part. The key to this whole adventure, it was found completely by accident. The professor is going nuts, trying every trick in the book to crack this code from a 16th century alchemist, and he's getting nowhere. Then, totally by chance, Axel happens to see the coded message reflected in a mirror and realizes the letters are just reversed. Just like that, the path is revealed. Go to the center of the Earth through a volcano in Iceland. Simple, right? So, with the code cracked, the adventure is on. Professor Lidenbrock doesn't waste a single second. He practically drags the terrified Axel all the way to Iceland to find a guide and start their impossible journey down the Snæfellsjökull volcano. The whole success of this crazy trip really depends on this trio of personalities. You've got Professor Lidenbrock, who is the obsessive mind, the engine pushing them forward no matter what. You've got Axel, the reluctant narrator, whose eyes we see everything through. And then there's Hans, their Icelandic guide. He is the muscle, the stoic, calm, unbelievably capable foundation of the team. Each one is absolutely essential. Deep down in the volcanic tunnels, things get real fast. The professor makes a wrong turn, a guess based more on impatience than logic, and suddenly they're facing their first genuine life-or-death crisis. The water is gone. And for Axel, this is it. This is his worst nightmare. He gets separated from the others, he's lost in total darkness, the heat is suffocating, and the supplies are gone. He completely breaks down, totally convinced he's going to die alone down there. And this is where Hans proves he's the MVP. While Lidenbrock has the vision and Axel has the heart, Hans is the one who keeps them alive. He doesn't just find an underground river, saving them from dying of thirst. He also uses this bizarre acoustic trick, hearing Axel's voice through the rocks, to find him and bring him back. Seriously, without Hans, the story ends right here. So, after cheating death, the team presses on. And what they find next? Well, it's discovery so massive it completely rewrites everything they, and frankly we, thought we knew about our planet. They emerge from these tight, claustrophobic tunnels into a cavern so vast it's almost unimaginable. It's a whole other world down there, and it even has its own sky, a glowing ceiling of electrically charged gas that casts this constant, eerie twilight over everything. I mean, we are not talking about just a big cave. This is a perfectly preserved prehistoric world. They see a huge underground ocean, forests of mushrooms the size of trees, and bones of long-extinct creatures. This is the novel's big moment, suggesting the Earth isn't just solid rock, but a kind of living time capsule. Now, Lidenbrock being Lidenbrock, he's not content to just stare at this amazing discovery. Nope. To get to the center, he says, they have to cross this underground ocean. So, of course, their unflappable guide Hans just gets to work, builds a raft out of fossilized wood, and off they go. So their little trip across what the professor proudly names the Lidenbrock Sea is anything but a calm boat ride. Pretty soon, their voyage is interrupted by some locals, colossal living sea monsters that were supposed to have been extinct for millions of years. They get a front row seat to an actual titanic battle between an ichthyosaurus and a plesiosaurus, two of the ancient world's most terrifying predators.
This isn't a fossil in a museum. This is real, violent, and it hammers home just how far from their own world they've gone. After a crazy electrical storm throws them onto a new shore, the discoveries get even more unbelievable. They find a whole forest of prehistoric plants, a herd of living mastodons, and maybe most shocking of all, a gigantic human-like figure herding them. Just as their brains are about to melt, they find it, a carving in a rock. The initials of the first explorer, Arni Saknussemm. They're still on the right path. So they're following Saknussemm's trail, they're feeling confident, and then they hit a wall. Literally. A massive boulder is blocking their path forward, probably from an ancient rock fall. It looks like the journey is over. So, what's Professor Lindbrock's solution to this problem? You guessed it, something characteristically reckless. He decides to use what's left of their gunpowder to just blow it up. The explosion, though, is way, way bigger than they planned, and it kicks off a chain reaction they have absolutely no control over. The plan was to go deeper. The actual result? The explosion cracks open the ground, and the entire Lidenbrock Sea starts pouring into a massive chasm. They get caught in this torrent on their raft and are shot upwards, riding a geyser of boiling water and magma through the Earth's crust. And at an insane speed, they are literally launched out of the planet's surface. In the most incredible twist, their journey that began by descending into a volcano in Iceland ends with them being erupted out of another one in Stromboli, Italy. Alive, but thousands of miles from where they started. So, they get back home to Hamburg, and of course, they're hailed as heroes. Lidenbrock gets all the fame he ever wanted, and Axel gets to marry his sweetheart. But when you look back, the true reward from this impossible journey wasn't fame or fortune. It was something way bigger. See, the story isn't really about getting to the literal center of the Earth. It's a story about the power of scientific curiosity. It's a really humbling look at how small we are compared to the vastness of the planet. And most of all, it's about Axel's transformation from a kid ruled by fear into a true courageous explorer. And that's really the question Verne leaves us with, isn't it? What's the real frontier we're trying to explore? Is it the uncharted depths of the world around us, or is it the undiscovered territory within ourselves? The book suggests that the journey to the center of the Earth is also a map for a journey inward, a reminder that our own capacity for discovery and courage is a world just as vast and just as worthy of exploring.